Welcome to Modern Main Street, a podcast designed to help local business owners grow, scale, and pivot even during uncertain times. Today, we're talking about the businesses winning during the coming summer slowdown, and we'll dive right in. So, you guys know something feels different this summer. It's not the same. Business owners are working harder for slower results. Consumers are not behaving the way they did just 2 years ago. And you can feel the hesitation in the market right now. So let's talk about some of the reasons why you are feeling this way as a local business owners. So consumers are experiencing much of the same things that you are, but they experience them differently. So right now we are dealing with rising food costs. And I was just looking at a report the other day that showed the differences between the food costs now and at the beginning of 2025, I guess it was. And they've gone up. There was one thing that went down, but many of the main things have gone up. So people are feeling that in their wallets. Right now, we have energy instability. We don't know what will happen if they don't open the Strait of Hormuz, and the fuel is growing less and less and less. So the prices are going to keep going up. And there will be energy shortages and instability. Right now, we also have uncertain economic times. While the market looks good on the outside, it's not necessarily so. We are experiencing people not using the dollar, the de-dollarization, um, and that will affect Americans greatly, and it could affect some of the other countries also. And right now, AI is overwhelming consumers with a lot of noise. There's a lot of content being created. Some of it's great, some of it's not so great, some of it's helpful, some of it's not so helpful. But the fact of the matter is, there is an abundance of content. There's a lot of noise out there, and consumers are becoming more selective because of all of this. It is not just a marketing problem, it is a consumer psychology shift that is going on. There is a change in the psychology, goodness gracious. There is a shift in the psychology of how consumers are buying, how they are spending their money. But here's what's interesting. Some businesses are quietly having their best year. So let's talk about the businesses before we go into, what people are doing that is helpful. Let's first start with what businesses are doing that is not helpful right now. Things that are not helpful. So some of the patterns that I am seeing right now with businesses that are struggling are they are chasing that visibility without the trust signals. Okay? Without the trust signals. You need to build trust first. That's the first step. They are posting too much, but under converting. So you're posting more and more and more, but things just aren't converting. And a lot of times you wonder if anybody is seeing your content. A lot of business owners are dependent on one stream of revenue. And others are constantly discounting their services, their products, hoping that customers will buy. They are reacting emotionally to what is happening and to the lack of sales or the lack of traffic they are experiencing. Many owners are overwhelmed operationally and physically and mentally. They are trying to do everything, too many things, and not enough is getting done properly. So the businesses losing right now are often the busiest. They are doing everything, but that's not in a good way. They're busiest, but not in a good way. They're experiencing burnout, chaotic operations, lack of systems, and constant content creation without a strategy behind it. Activity is not the same as momentum. So you might be asking yourself, what do customers actually want in 2026? What do they want? That's what everybody's trying to figure out right now. So, as I mentioned, there is a psychological shift happening right now. Consumers want certainty, they want to be sure, they want trust. That's a big, big deal right now. After all of the propaganda that has been thrown at the public, they want somebody that they can trust. They also want simplicity. They're mentally exhausted. They don't need complicated. They need someone that is reliable, a business that is reliable, that they can count on. They are looking for that reliability. And they are also looking for relationships. They are looking for relationships because after everybody stayed home and went online, there was a lack of that touch points that are necessary for human interaction. And even though many people went online and got connection there, it's not the same as the human to human interaction. And customers are also looking for convenience right now because everybody is overwhelmed, overburdened, and they just don't have time for a lot of extra. So convenience is huge. So what they really want is a business that reduces their stress level. You have to reduce the stress for your customers. People are exhausted right now because they're doing too many things. And I don't know about you, but in North Jersey, where I live in North Jersey, most of the people I know, even if they are married, even if they have more than one income coming into their household from another person, most of the people I know here have two and sometimes three jobs. People are exhausted. And I'm not talking about people in their 20s. I'm talking about people in their 60s who are working their butts off trying to make ends meet right now. And customers are buying slower because of all that. First of all, they don't have the time, they don't have the energy, they don't have the mental capacity. So they're buying it slower. They're slower to make decisions because they want to make the right decision. People are researching more before purchasing, and because they're so busy, that can take a while. Trust is becoming the new currency right now. So you have to earn the trust before you try to sell. In unstable economies, people stop buying impulsively and they start buying safely. They want to feel safe. And this affects every type of business. So let's talk about some of the ways that it affects your business potentially. So for local businesses, it affects you in a way of trust, discernment, and relationships. Do they trust you? How do they know they can trust you? Have you built those trust factors? Did you build a relationship with them? Being out in the community can go a long way right now. Service providers. trust and reliability. Are you reliable? Will you show up when you say you'll show up? Will you get the job done the first time you're there and have it done effectively and efficiently? Can they trust you to do a good job? Memberships. Do you have a membership program? Discernment is crucial right now, and people are going to want to see proof. And if you're coaching, they're definitely going to want to see proof. They're going to want testimonials, and they're going to want referrals. They want to be referred. They're going to believe their friends over what your testimonials say. For home services, trust and reliability are imperative, as well as proof. Again, the trust factor is built into the proof. Wellness businesses. So, a lot of people right now are spending money on wellness after so many years of finding out that the things that they're doing weren't working. They're spending money on wellness, but here's the thing: they want proof that it works, proof that it'll work for them, not necessarily, a cost factor, but they want proof. They want the data behind it. They want to trust. And as far as professional services are concerned, they want to see results. Do you win? If you're a lawyer, do you win? How good are you at getting refunds for tax returns for people? What's your track record? Do you have guarantees? So results are important, trust is important, and building the relationships are extremely important right now. So those are some of the things that you are up against with your local business right now in the marketplace in order to compete for that sale. So the businesses that are quietly winning right now are doing a couple things. And I want to share some of those with you. And I know I, for one, have done many of these things with my business. So I am speaking from a place of I have done this. So winning businesses right now are simplifying their offers. They're keeping it simple. No complicated craziness. They are building recurring revenue. And this is something that I have talked to my clients about for the past 13 years is building recurring revenue. Many businesses do not have a model where it is built in. One of the most important things to do right now is to create that recurring revenue source. Businesses that are winning right now are also increasing customer retention. I just wrote an article about that recently, about retaining customers and about having a retention system that filters them back through your funnel. And I know people don't really talk about funnels so much anymore, but it's all a sales funnel. But you want to nurture them. You want to build that relationship. You want to make sure that they are coming back to you again and again and again. You need a system that does that. Winning businesses right now are focusing on relationships, but they are still using automation strategically, not removing themselves from the process, but using it where it makes sense because you, as a business owner, still need to be part of the process. I remember when I had a client come to me one time and she said, I just want them to buy and I don't want to have to talk to anybody. Oh my goodness. That's just craziness right now because what they want is they want to know that you care. You shouldn't be focusing on transactional relationships because they're not going to come back if you do. You also want to focus on becoming a trusted local authority in your area. whether it's on something that you specialize in, an add-on for your business, or your business itself. You want to become that trusted local authority that people can depend on, that they can come to when they need something and know that you're going to help them and be there for them. And that goes hand in hand with building community. As I mentioned a little while ago, you should be out in the community, meeting people in the community, building those relationships, and building your own community of trusted people that you can have in your ecosystem. Which brings me to one of the last things I wanted to mention here, and that is creating ecosystems instead of one-off transactions. So the girl that asked me to, you know, create a sales funnel where they didn't have to talk to her, that's a one-off transaction. That means you are always out there looking for a new customer all the time, every day, all day. But if you create a retention program, a referral program, those things will lend well to today's environment because they build trust while you are building your business. Some of the things that my customers are using are email lists. Email lists are becoming more valuable again, but only if you have nurtured your email list and your email list is focused on that specific customer that you help. If you haven't kept in contact with your email list and you don't do so regularly, an email list is really a lost cause for you right now. You do need to use your email list to be in front of them, or your competitors will. Local trust is outperforming follower counts. Gone are the days of how many followers you have. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. What matters is if they care about what you are saying and interacting with you and clicking on it and scheduling calls or coming into your business. Those things are much more important than your follower count. So don't be distracted by vanity metrics, because those large follower counts, a lot of those businesses aren't making much money at all. You would be shocked. And what goes along with that is smaller audiences are outperforming large passive audiences. Smaller focused audiences that interact with you, that care about what you have to say, want to be there. That will outperform a large audience that doesn't care any day. Operational efficiency is becoming a competitive advantage. And that's one of the things that I have been talking to business owners about for years and have helped so many clients create them. The future belongs to businesses people can trust during uncertainty. Because these are uncertain times, let's face it. And if they can't trust you in uncertain times, they are not going to do business with you. So some examples of ways that you can build trust is having a membership program, have a continuity offer. And what that is if somebody wants to leave, it's a way that they can continue working with you. Or when the program is over, it's a way they continue working with you. You should always have that. You should have always had that. But many business owners don't. Businesses that are doing well right now have repeat customer systems. Like I said, if they don't work with you and their period of time ends with you, how are you staying in contact with them? How are you bringing them back in? And another thing right now that is working is a strong referral system. And like I said, I did an article on a referral system recently, and I would invite you to go check it out. I have some of the things posted on my Substack right now, and as notes, and some of them are really good. I mean, you really have to pay attention to what is going on in the referral market right now. If you're not getting referrals, if you do not have a system set up, you are leaving literally thousands of dollars on the table each month. And businesses that are winning right now are also creating educational content. They are helping people. They care about the people, and the people can feel that. The biggest mistake business owners will make is to run your business on panic mode. And I've seen this so many times. You know, I actually experienced this. I was working with a roofing company, and he saw the negative numbers and he totally freaked out and he let his whole staff go. And he did that because he was in panic mode. When, I was helping him with the marketing for his business, I know without a doubt that I could have helped him turn that around, but he panicked. Running your business in panic mode is never a good idea. And some examples of panic mode are slashing prices. And you see businesses do this all the time. I'm not talking about your normal sale, like, over a holiday weekend or whatever. I'm talking about just slashing prices just to get sales. It usually doesn't work. Or random marketing. You need a strategy behind the marketing that you're doing. And I also see a lot of businesses using every AI tool out there to see if what they can do better. It's not about using all the tools, it's about how you use them and using the best tool for the job. Many business owners also overcomplicate things. When I used to talk to business owners years ago about systems and processes, I would get eyes glazed over, deer in the headlights, like, what are you talking about? Oh my goodness. But systems make your life easy. They don't need to be complicated, and I don't like complicated. Sometimes businesses abandon long-term strategy in lieu of short-term strategy because they panic. And some businesses, some other business owners, and I've seen this happen again and again and again, they're constantly pivoting. If one thing doesn't work, they go to another. If one type of business doesn't work, they go to another. People don't know what you stand for when you do that. It usually doesn't work. And desperate energy repels customers. Customers can feel the instability. Businesses that appear calm, strategic, and consistent win trust. And that's because they exhibit things that people are actually looking for, such as leadership, emotional regulation. They want steady, strategic thinking, and solid decision making during uncertainty. And in these uncertain times, they are looking for that stability and solid decision making. This elevates your position beyond marketing into business leadership. And that's how you want to be seen in the marketplace. So you may be asking yourself, what can I do right now? Well, I'm going to go over some things that smart business owners should be doing right now. Okay. So here's some action steps for you. So get ready to write them down. Some things that you should be doing right now is strengthening your client retention. Strengthen your client retention. Do you have a retention system? If you don't, get one in place. If you do have one in place, what's falling through the cracks? Strengthen that retention system. Simplify your offer suite. Okay. You don't need more offers out there. You need one offer that's a really good one. That's what they need and want. Build recurring revenue into what you do. Look at what's going on in your business and look at your customers and what do they need? What can you do to create recurring revenue? You can also improve your follow-up systems. Do you even have one? Many businesses don't, and many businesses follow up once or twice and then forget about following up. It is so critical that you keep following up. You need a system in place to keep in touch. Do you have a system in place to reactivate old leads? People that maybe you worked with years ago, people that you haven't talked to in a few years or a while? Do you have a reactivation system in place? You should. And when you focus on customer experience, you will surely win over new customers because they are enjoying the experience of working with you. When you tighten your operations, it removes a lot of the stress from you. It removes a lot of the overload from you. When you put those systems in place and tighten those operations, it runs like a well-oiled machine. Look at those things in your business. Also, one of the things that I've gone over in my school group, the local growth hub, is messaging, improving messaging clarity. Right now, clear businesses are winning because if somebody has to think too hard about what you do, who you help, if they can't recognize themselves, they're probably not going to work with you. They're going to pass you up for somebody that is very clear, that is calling out to them, that they know will help them. Businesses winning right now are also building authority content. So look at your content. What content, I talked about messaging a little while ago, and this goes with, messaging, the messaging clarity. You also should be building authority with the content. You need to be the thought leader. That will earn you trust and respect in your industry and make you stand out. And you can also look at your lead system. Is it predictable? Is your lead system predictable? Because it should be. You want to look at that. The businesses that survive hard economies are usually the businesses that are prepared early. So don't wait. These businesses usually implement some of the very things I have been helping local businesses with for years. I was talking about systems and processes when nobody wanted to hear about system and processes. They just wanted to hear about live launches, high ticket offers, and all of the things. When it's really the systems and processes that create the stability in your business. So having that, some of the things that I have helped business owners do for years, the solid system and processes, solid systems and processes, automation that helps them and does not replace them. You don't want to replace yourself. You want to be human. How about that recurring revenue model that you've been looking for and you haven't been able to implement in your business? You need reliable income, and that recurring revenue is reliable income. Also, community-based models are really big right now, and it is because they earn the trust that is necessary for people to actually open their wallets. And having a scalable infrastructure in your business is incredibly important. This is not the season to panic. This is the season to become more strategic than your competitors. The businesses that win this next chapter will not necessarily be the loudest, they will be the most trusted. And I have said this before over and over and over again. That trust factor is so incredibly important right now. And I know you've been hearing that everywhere. And I can't even begin to tell you how important it is. I invite you to join my school community, subscribe to my Substack, or if you want to dig deep and not wait, which honestly, you shouldn't wait on any of this. Connect with me and let's jump on a call and see how I can help you. Hard markets, which is what we're in right now. We are in a hard market and it's going to get harder. Hard markets expose weak business models, but they also create extraordinary opportunities for businesses who are willing to adapt. And I would love to have that conversation with you. I hope this podcast was helpful for you today and you took some tips from it. And if you did, hit the follow button, subscribe, because I have a lot more coming that'll help you grow your local business over the next few years and challenging times in any economy. Thanks for listening.